Hello viewers, you join us on Car India with this new Tata Nexon for 2023. This is a facelift for this car, a significant one after it was launched in 2017. And here is everything you need to know about the new Nexon. There is no doubt that this is a significant facelift because the front end is all new, all different from the car it replaces. DRLs on top, LED headlight at the bottom, nothing at all to make it seem similar to the previous car. The 16-inch wheels have been retained, but they have a new design entirely. The side profile of the car remains more or less the same, but back here there is a badge that celebrates 50 lakh cars sold in India. Now, the next significant change is when you come back here, because the rear of the car now gets a light bar that runs the entire width of the car, very similar to the Avinia concept Tata unveiled earlier this year. Right now you join me in the cabin of the new Tata Nexon, and like the car, the interiors are also new, fresh and radical. The biggest, or rather the most obvious of changes, is this floating touchscreen unit. The touch is sensitive, easy to use and is supported by a JBL sound system. The same size is available as an instrument console, fully digital, nothing analog at all. It is easy to read, relevant, but I still miss the needles moving. Anyway, other new features include a fully usable touchscreen unit over here. The buttons that were there in the previous iteration have been replaced by a very functional touchscreen and a two-spoke steering wheel. The first time in the Nexon, and also the first time for a Tata, we get an illuminated display for the logo. No physical logo here, so you start the car and the Tata logo comes on. The front row gets ventilated seats, and things are not as great in the rear. Because of the car's sloping roofline that gives it its unique shape, we've had to sacrifice a bit in headroom, and this seat is set to my height and I have just about enough room in the rear seat, so not the most comfortable in this segment. Unlike the second row, the boot of this car is quite spacious. In fact, it's a little more than the car it replaces. Now, once we close the boot, you will notice that a wiper is not visible, but it's there. It's hidden under this section over here. Under the hood, this car is powered by the 1.5-litre 4-cylinder Revamped diesel engine, and it is available mated to a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed AMT. Now, Tata have not done anything to the engine at all. Exact same power figures, exact same torque figures and same transmissions, but only for the diesel model. In the petrol car, what Tata have done is supplied the 1.2-litre 3-cylinder Revamped engine with a DCT. In the diesel Nexon, things are the same as the previous version because the engine has not changed, the gearbox has not changed. The driving has also not changed. The experience has changed because the cabin has been enriched significantly. But in terms of power figures, there is a lot of torque on tap, but most of it starts from 1.5 thousand RPM. And the 6th gear is just an overdrive to cruise. But in the city, the car does a decent job of going from point A to point B. I feel for a car in this bracket, the transmission could have been a little more refined, a little more involving to use. But other than that, it does its job as a city car. Now we move into the petrol DCT. In the seat of the Tata Nexon with the DCT equipped, things are a lot different. This car is easily the most fun to drive Nexon in the range right now. The DCT shifts are not the quickest in the segment, but they are still quite quick and makes this car very involving and very enjoyable to drive. The Revamped engine is familiar to all of us and it produces the same levels of power and torque, but with this transmission that makes the driving a lot more involving, and you also get to utilize the car's handling potential to its limits. The handling of the Nexon remains unchanged from the car it replaces. It has always been very planted around the corner, easy to drive with direct feedback at the steering wheel. So no complaints on that front, but if you're looking for a sporty, involved driving experience, this may not be it. But if you're looking for an enjoyable, comfortable one, then the Nexon could be the one for you. The driving experience of the new Nexon is very familiar because not much has changed in terms of suspension or handling. It is exactly the same as the previous car, but what it has done is augmented that experience, primarily with the JBL sound system. Entertainment in the car is now a lot more fun, as is the ventilated seats, because it just adds one more layer of comfort. But I feel Tata could have worked on the refinement issues. There is still a significant amount of noise that leaks into the cabin, and it's not a complaint, but it's something that they should have looked at. At the end of the day, we have driven both variants. This is the DCT turbo petrol, and we've also driven the turbo diesel 6-speed manual. And between the two cars, The diesel 6-speed manual feels very familiar. It feels easy to drive and all of that, except it looks different and feels a little different on the inside. But this feels like a brand new car. This feels like what the Nexon should have always been. The DCT has allowed the Nexon to realize its true potential. And if it was up to me, this is the one I'd be putting my money on. If you liked what you saw, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, do notifications and all of that. And if there's something that we haven't answered, please feel free to ask us in the comments and we will get back to you as soon as possible. This is Joshua Verghese signing off for Car India.